you were talking a while back about some of our favorite artists that we wish could make a comeback. You know,
Yes.
so I mean, if there are five that you can think of that you'd wish, and I think I had a couple down as well that, who we'd wish could make a comeback 2022,
All
2023.
right. That sounds good to me. Because I always sit around and I look at today's R&B artists and just artists in general,
Mm,
and I always say to myself, Summer Walker, that's cute, but just imagine if blank artist was out here on the
mm,
stage next to you. I mean, or SZA, to see the live performance. I'm like, yeah, but what if this artist was, they had that song and they were performing the song.
yeah.
So I would love to see, there's certain artists I would love to see still rocking it. They still have it. Now I compiled my list of people that I think are still viable, still have a good look, still with the right song could make a comeback. There are some artists that, their day has passed and it is, time to kind of hang it up. No offense, guys. I ain't gonna say no names. But there are some artists I think just with a little, dusting up, they can get on, the right
Okay.
song,
So
the
who's your
right
number?
label, keyword, right label,
The
because I
right
don't know if
label.
most people got labels any deals anymore. But my for fifth artist, I'm gonna start off with Usher. Now, Usher,
People would
yes,
say
I
he's
want
still
Usher
out.
to. No, I'm talking about make a comeback. There's
Okay.
a difference between just releasing music that nobody listens to and
Okay. You
actually
said it,
like
not me. Usher.
competitive on the competitive on the charts,
Okay.
competing with the comp. Now I mean I don't know how you compiled your list. So I'm not knocking you. Whatever you got on there, keep there. This is from me. So for Usher, I want Usher to make a comeback. I want him to have a good, strong comeback single, a number one on that Billboard, that cherished number one spot on the top 100 on the Billboard charts. We want that. The adult contemporary, the bubbling under chart, that's cute, but we want a number one on the top 100. That's what we want for Usher. I want him to make a big comeback. I think his problem is unfortunately that moment between Confessions and Here I Stand. I think that Here I Stand album kind of stumbled him a little bit. He got a little too mature, and then everybody told him we want confessions. So he didn't gave us every version of a confessions he can give us with all these different albums. He had a little resurgence with the techno music and the EDM.
Mm,
But I want to see Usher do something forward thinking and new. I don't want to see him regurgitate another confessions. Everybody wants a confessions. I want him to do something different because I don't think that that's going to work necessarily for him.
so you wonder why,
Now,
because he's with JD
Jermaine Dupri.
had the number one with on Atlantic's Pressure, so he doesn't. So he still has the magic to make the music. He's still good friends with Bruno, and I wonder if they look at what Bruno's just done and think, well, how's Bruno able to become just change music and genre and still be relevant now? And Usher, I can't remember his last single, a new single that's blown up, and you're right as to what is going on that he can't look at what Bruno's doing and have that type of impact on the scene.
Right. And he's done like I think his last. I know he had a song with Ella May. She's a UK
Yeah,
artist.
yeah, no, yeah.
I think it's Don't Waste My Time. The titles. That's nothing. The titles. They don't even stick in my mind.
Mm.
He had another song that he did with Little John, I believe, in Ludacris, that he put out recently. But like I said, they're just kind of like regurgitated formulas from, and they're cute, for the nostalgic fan, but they're not competitive in today's market. And I don't mean make the music of today. I mean make something forward. When Michael Jackson was dropping things, he was always ahead of the curve.
Mm.
And I think there comes a time in an artist's career where they start just chasing trends. And I think Usher did that for a minute. Michael even did that for a second. Not necessarily. Let me go back. Let me back up. Let's not talk about Michael Jackson right now, because that's just a whole nother kind of artist. But when Usher, he did the trend chasing, he's going to need a producer that understands what Usher needs and where to take his next music
Yeah, you should go
and what
work with Bruno.
R&B fans want to hear. Yes, I wouldn't mind hearing what
Bruno's
Bruno's doing from Usher because he can do it. And we could have
Okay.
two Bruno Marses out here.
Well, Bruno
But,
he's a writer and producer. He's got his
yeah.
I can't remember the name of his production stuff. He could help him reinvent his, but then again, he's taking his market. So, so yours will
Well, I think, but hey, you get those publisher checks too. So you not only okay, but I think that you got to do. You're hitting on something. I would love to hear Usher do something of what Bruno Mars
Bruno,
has been
yeah.
able to do. But
Mm.
of course, the label is backing him with that, and it seems like the label's only pushing Usher in a certain direction. But anyway, that's my number
Yeah, that's
five.
it.
Let's
Five.
get
So my number
five.
five is Total.
Okay.
I know Pam came out with her own single. I wasn't a big fan. I don't like rock music like that.
Yeah.
I just don't like. It doesn't matter what it is, She had a very distinct voice, but she was really this. And I almost wonder if the three of them came back, but also had a really, maybe got JD, or maybe Dave Jam Hall, or so, and say, come, or even Dogchild, come up with, let them, or even Brian who did, SW stuff, Brian Alexander Morgan, write a ballad and write something different and see if people resonate to that. Because unfortunately, when these groups do come back, they don't get producers who have gravitas. There's a lot of 90s
Right.
producers and songwriters who are still out there, who you can go back to write to write some hits. They try and chase the producers working with Annie Lennox and Summer Walker, but those girls are selling their image along with the song, and even the lyrics are very different. So, somebody like Megan Thee Stallion, she's almost like a model, sort of mini strip dancer plus a rapper. So it's a package. So when you see her on stage
Right.
in her bikini rapping, those all the like
Well,
Total,
some
they're
would
not.
say Total is selling an image along with music too. I think that
No, but
Bad Boy
if I'm
was
talking about a comeback to
you
do it
talking about
today, if they were coming today, they didn't. They're much older than they were back in the 90s. So back
yeah, they
then,
probably
yes,
wouldn't dress.
they couldn't dress like that and get away with it. So they couldn't dress
Right.
like a Megan. So they would need the music and a songwriting, as you said, that
Yeah.
would
And
get
let me be
them.
clear, I'm not saying overtly sexual. I'm just talking about they have a certain image that was crafted by Bad Boy
Yeah,
and they
yeah,
came under that Bad Boy. And so the difference now is that it was without a record deal. Did I freeze? It looks like I froze.
yeah. That's fine.
Total is the difference now is that Total is without a record deal. They're not signed under Bad Boy. They don't have any Bad Boy affiliation. Could they sell that Bad Boy thing without the Bad Boy? Because that's really what kind of sold them a lot. But I could see them coming back. I think that it's a good idea. But with Pam, she's made it very kind of clear that she's, a gospel, she's a gospel, not I won't say a gospel artist, but she's made it very clear that she's a Christian and there's certain songs she won't do.
Yeah.
And that's going to get in the way of what kind of material we report. But it didn't stop Coco, because when she was with SWV, remember in the beginning when it came back, of course she had this a couple of gospel albums, and she was kind of reluctant to sing certain things with the reunion. So, but that's all went out the window. She didn't kind of went back to singing downtown and everything like that, like she used to. So, but yeah, or You're the One. I think she had the most issue with You're the One, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I think in the beginning, I think somebody else was singing the risky lyrics, but now she just go ahead and sing it. But anyway, but no, I'm all for Total coming back. I love them. I think they're a cool group. And it will be interesting to get what their perspective is and their take is now, and because they're all still very attractive women, and they still have maintained their look and everything and their vocals. So I think I could see them coming back. It's just how and who, I don't know, but sounds good. I like that.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
so for me, number 4, I want to move along. John B. I have at number 4. And
Hmm.
I think that John B is one of those artists that always gets forgotten in a conversation about R&B. And I liked what he was doing on his albums. They were very different from what people thought he was, which was little baby face, and or I guess my white version of Babyface, which I didn't look at him like that because he had a lot of good songs and funky songs on his first album. On
Hmm.
his second album, he had a lot of interesting choices and different things. So he still looks pretty much the same, still can
Hmm.
sing, still has the same vibe. He's just been doing it on the independent route,
Hmm.
and hasn't had a lot of uh, exposure or success on the charts. But I do think that he's somebody that if he was picked up with you know, um, a major or even a mid-level player label, he could make a significant comeback. Yeah, he doesn't have any drama or scandals really
Yeah.
associated with him.
Yeah.
So, there's a label that Brian McKnight and Kenny Lattimore is signed to, that's been signing up a lot of the older R&B artists
Okay.
from that era. I can't think of the name of it right now, but um, I don't even know that they would be a good fit though. I want a label that has the marketing and promotional dollars that can still put them out there like an Atlantic or something like that, an Epic Records. I would love
Well,
something like
but what about Charlie Wilson's label? I mean, they seem to be able to get him.
yeah,
I don't
but they're
know.
still kind of a management company. They're a small staff, so it's only they can't concentrate on a dozen acts. They can like concentrate on maybe 2 or 3 acts. But maybe I could see it. I could see it. But yeah,
Hmm.
maybe that might be something. Hey, John, if you're watching, I'm giving you some ideas. But no, John has really been very independent and entrepreneurial. So ever since
Hmm.
I think after his third or fourth album, he really has just been releasing music on his own terms. But he's had some good music. So I would like to see his music um on the platform for a wider audience, because
Yeah.
I do respect his R&B. I think he does music for us. It's not a situation of somebody just doing, taking our culture and packaging it and just trying to profit off of it. He's somebody that really loves music and is of the music, and I think that he would be great to have a comeback. It'd be good to see him have a comeback.
Yeah. Well, for me, my third one would be Mr. Jaheim Hoagland.
Okay, yeah, Jaheim.
Jaheim Hoagland. Yeah, I just think that he such a soulful voice, such a storyteller with his vocals, and I just
Hmm.
think that he has so much that he could offer. I think when we're thinking about we talked a while back about Anthony Hamilton. There are people like Lucky Day and all these people who are coming out. I still think he can go toe to toe with any male vocalists that are out there right now. Gideon or any of them
Right.
out now. He vocally, lyrically, he can go. It's just whether mentally he can he's ready for that for the
Yeah.
stuff. It just seems as if he's got um when you see him on social media, he just feels as if he's got so much other things happening around him that's a distraction. So when you speak to people who know him, like Eric Williams or KG, they're like, we've done songs, he just disappears, and so we just don't know. So that reliability is what's going to keep them going.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of reserve my opinion on Jaheim. I think the industry likes to label people crazy when they're rebellious. I think some people just don't fit in that dynamic of playing, the whole going along to get along and just playing by the rules and
Mm,
doing all of the Jaheim, I think, has broken out of that. He's always, it seems like, even from the interview you did with KG, seems like Jaheim has always kind of been a little rough around the edges and hard to kind of like pin down and tame. And so that might be but unfortunately, people don't understand a lot of times that is the fire behind your creativity when you're like that. You know, Jaheim, I think we forget that he does write his own music. He is very creative. So I think that sometimes that those little, you know, personality, some people will see it as personality flaws, are what contributes to his creativity. So I won't go as far as I'm not quick to call anybody crazy. And I know I can understand why some people get the label they get. But yeah, I would love to see him as a make a comeback. I think he's very talented. For me, my next artist is we you know, it seems like she back, but she ain't back. She got to come back. Toni Braxton. I would love to see her make a comeback, and I would love to see a album we all want it that is produced by Babyface. You know, and I would love to see Toni, and maybe who knows, maybe that time has passed for them, maybe creatively, because I haven't heard really a good song from Babyface in a long time either.
Yeah.
But I mean, a really good song. I'm not talking about like a mediocre or okay song. I mean, a really like Love Should Have Brought You Home type song, Breathe Again, you know, those type of records. I haven't heard, you know, You Mean the World to Me kind of songs from him. So, but I think that she's always like she had a hit, an R&B hit, a number one R&B hit a couple years ago with I can't remember the title of the song, but she had a hit here and there. And it's very hard, far and few between, you know, recently. But, you know, this last album, Sex and Cigarettes, I really wasn't feeling the whole album. And usually I like Toni's albums as a whole. I just think that she needs to really hone in on what the audience wants from her, and that is R&B. We don't want, you know, unfortunately, we don't want dance, you know, house records. We don't want, we don't. I love house now, guys. I love house. I'm just saying for Toni, I just don't know that her audience wants that type of record. I don't know that they want some of these pop, what's that stuff? That stuff that do a Lupe. We don't want that from her. We want something that is reminiscent of the old Toni Braxton.
And I do wonder if the label who's paying for the record says this is what we want, and so you sing it.
That could be it too. But the thing is, somebody has to be a creative hat and not just looking at numbers and what's selling. Somebody has to be a creative hat, because that's what. See, L.A. Reid was a creative person and he was a numbers person, so he understood what was going to work. He wasn't just going by, oh, this worked on this chart with these you know, this type of artist did these type of numbers. He also can hear what it can be. Visionaries, that's what I'm looking for. Visionary kind of like a Clive Davis. But anyway, yeah, that was my number 3 artist.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. So so my did I start? Okay, so Sade.
Oh yeah. But you know, every time she dropped though, she just do numbers. So I don't know that she needs a comeback necessarily. Because
the thing is, the last album has been more than 10, 12 years. I mean, it's just like
she's one of those artists.
Just you know, and you know, her stuff is it's golden. You know, her writing, her singing, her vibe, it just fits. But she's very reclusive from the doesn't be, she's not in the limelight or anything like that, likes her privacy. So she knows when she has an album out, she has to do the tour. And I think, you know, when you're at 60, you're like, man, do I need to go around the world? I mean, what's the point? But I would just love her to come back and to do something, because I know it would, you know, it's guaranteed to sell. And so Sony would love her to come out and boost off their coffers with a new album and stuff. But yeah, I'd love to see Sade back.
I would love to see a new Sade album as well. For me, number 2 is going to be Brandy. And
Brandy.
yes, I would love to see Brandy make a significant comeback, because I feel like right now she's at the top of her game. It's unfortunate how some artists start off. Yeah, top of her game as far as an overall artist. Sometimes people, just like Ashanti, some people come out and they only have a few of the pieces. I'm not saying that Brandy didn't only had a few pieces, but I'm saying that, like with Ashanti, vocally she wasn't as, I'm just giving her as an example. Vocally, you know, she wasn't what she is now. she's grown a lot. So speaking of Brandy has all of the components now. She can sing and perform well. Like, it's back in the day, she wasn't much of a performer. She performs well now. She understands her voice more. She's able to do a lot more. Her voice has changed a little bit, but it's still strong.
Mm.
And she's kind of in control more. Before she was, a child. She's a teenage star, and she's an adult woman now, and she has her own label. She has her own, thing. I would like for her to have success under her terms, where she can actually benefit off of it. Because when she had her major success, it was as a kid, and you know that was decades ago. So I would love to see her make a comeback. She's still viable, still still looks good, still can sing. um it seemingly has all of the right things. She has all these different vehicles. She does acting and things like that. All these vehicles that can also be used as promotional tools. And I think she's also showed on that show she was on, Queens, that she still got it. So
So my final one, then my final comeback. I mean, I'm stuck between two, and one of them is Guy. It's one of the things where
yes, I knew it.
People might be looking. I mean,
But no, I agree though. I think that should be your number one. It's only fitting.
Because
I think that we all want that.
Because
We all want a guy.
I think there's so much that because Teddy was right in between Blackstreet, and he wasn't really. He was just in the middle of everything, where he did that Guy 3
Yes.
album, which just didn't make sense to any of us. And then they released one video that he co-produced. And then there was Why You Want to Keep Me From My Baby. He wasn't in the video; it was just Aaron there, and he'd gone back to work with Blackstreet. And I think it was like it wasn't, their hearts weren't in that. And I think when I'm talking about Guy, I'm thinking Timmy. Let him come back and do the writing. Damien can the four of them coming as a foursome. Because Drew Hill's doing it right now with Teo coming back to Drew Hill. So I would have loved to see the four of them, Timmy and Teddy, writing in the studio with Aaron and Damien. And Timmy said he'll be up for it, but he says, look, when the old rock stars like Ozzy Osbourne and the rest could come back, they give them millions to do it. Why can't we? But it has to be sort of level playing field. It can't be the sort of Teddy show. It has to be, we all get recognized, we all get paid for it, and we all put up, we'll get ourselves fit for it. So I would love to see Guy, all four members, back on stage and back in the studio recording, and Aaron and Damien and Timmy and Teddy all having songs, not Aaron singing everything and Teddy, but Damien having some verse, some songs, and Timmy
it
getting
would be
some.
nice to see him do something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's your number one?
My number one. So since you took my number one.
Oh, you okay?
Yes, I know. I think we all here at Can We Talk and also have chat. We want Guy to make a comeback.
Yeah.
Right. We want to see them up there like New Edition collecting.
Yeah. Look at that. All the love and 30 shows. I mean, goodness, they average 10,000 a show. So we're thinking, over almost 1 million people came to see New Edition. And I think, I don't know how much the tickets were, but we're thinking of more than 20, more than almost 1 million people. The tickets would be nothing less than $50. So we're looking over $50 million that they generated minus merchandise, and they still are going back on the road. Late in the summer. Guy, if they got their acts together, the four of them, and put out some solid hits, because they had more hits, more proper hits. Anyway, your number one, please. Sorry,
well, I can switch it up because I got plenty of people for this list. Well, I'm going to say my favorite group, Boyz II Men. I want to see Boyz II Men make a comeback. And I just saw, I believe, a photo with Mike
Yeah.
and was that
And
Wanye?
one year, yeah.
Yeah, so clearly there's, I mean, a couple of the members are still on good terms. I know there's a certain member that's, but I think they just need to bury the hatchet, because I know, Mike does have some health issues, so I can understand, but he
He
can
had
still
his walking
record
stick,
with
yeah.
them.
He had
Yeah,
his walking stick.
I mean, we can accept that, you can't do the touring, but you can at least do the singing and the photos, or ops. We can understand if you don't do
Yeah.
the actual performing. But I think that they still relatively look, still like themselves, and they still have the voices clearly. So it would be great just to have all four of them back. I think that would be
Yeah.
the little jolt of interest that they, or energy to bring interest back to the group, and give back with some of your old, like I think they did a song on the last Jimmy Jam Terry Lewis album. I might be wrong.
Yeah,
I
they
could be wrong.
did. They did track that. Yeah,
Did they?
they've done it. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah,
they
get
have.
some of those. Get Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. You're still working with them. Get a Babyface song. Bury the hatchet. I don't know if it's some drama there, but um, you know, get some Babyface songs. Get some Jimmy Jam Terry Lewis songs. Get back with Dallas Austin, and do a Boys to Men 30 or whatever, or 20. I don't know how long has it been. I don't know how long it's been, but
Yeah, I mean,
it's
you're
it's a no brainer. Go
yeah,
back to
you're right
Motown
about.
Records. Motown will sign them.
I mean, you're right about the fact, because some of these artists, not I think not Jimmy and Terry, because they have somehow every. I mean, they have a hit, a number one record with her. They've got they keep
Mhm.
getting number one records with Mary, so they still have the magic. They're still able to get themselves out there. But people like, say, Babyface, who hasn't really had a hit for a long time. Um, I don't know if Dallas cares about. Dallas doesn't seem to care
Yeah,
about the
he's
music and the
single.
money. He's
Yeah.
got a lot of things settled. He doesn't like the whole thing. But Tim and Bob, all these guys who haven't really been able to make it out there. I mean, it would be great to see them all just do some music and put them out there. So that would be a good call.
Right.
And honorable mentions, I had Naughty by Nature down. I just thought how they fare in today's market, that
Mhm.
their brand of hip hop. I say I sort of had them down, and I had the original En Vogue. Dawn, Maxine,
I would
Cindy,
love to
and
see them
Terry,
too.
the four of them coming back. Because
For
I know En
me,
Vogue is. Go ahead.
go ahead.
Yeah, I said, no, even though the trio are still doing their thing, but I think once Don left, a lot of us just got. It's the same thing with Mike when he left Boys to Men. It just didn't feel right. It just seeing them three, because
Yeah.
the four made it just visually. We were just so used to that, and even though they would say, "Well, we're the main lead singers and stuff," but the balance just didn't seem right, and so I just
Yeah,
don't
I
know
don't
if
feel
they.
bad because the girl that's been there, actually, if you think about it, she's actually been with the group longer than the
Yeah,
original members now
yeah,
at this
Donna
point.
said
So
it.
it'd be kind of
Yeah.
rude to be like, okay, yeah, move over because we need this reunion money.
Well, they did it when they did the major reunion.
Yeah, they did.
She
They
stepped
did.
aside, and why they couldn't make it last.
I know. They should just give her a percentage. Like they could do a reunion tour and just give her a percentage because she's
all,
still a
all,
part of the group.
all five of them just do stuff. It's not. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's too. Because she used to be a singer, a solo singer. She was working with Rodney Jerkins. She produced a whole album with Rodney Jerkins, which I have, guys, and it was pretty good.
for who
Rhonda
herself?
Bennett. Yeah, she was an artist under Rodney Jerkins.
You're kidding
And
me.
yeah, so she had a whole album produced by him, and I got it, it's unreleased. And it's pretty good.
Oh,
So, but anyway, so yeah, I agree with In Vogue. I think they should definitely make a comeback. I would love to see all five, four and five. Um, and little known fact, they did a remake of your favorite group's guys song. What's that song? Dang, what's that song?
what's up for the
Goodbye
first
Love.
album? First album,
No,
second.
no, this
Let's.
album was the one that they put out independently.
No, was it? No, guy. No,
I do love you. Peace of My Love. That's what
Peace of
they
My
did.
Love. Okay,
And
I was.
Vogue they did a remake. So look that up, man. I know you
Okay.
want to see. But
Oh,
anyway, my honorable mentions are Mario and who else? Oh, LL Cool J. Those two are the two I want to
oh.
also make a comeback. But we got to go, guys. We're kind of going over time. Me and Nnamdi are signing off. See you next time.
Ciao.
Bye.